This video is extremely unplanned. That's okay. I know you. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you follow me on Instagram, which is in the description, you will know that I have just finished a book called Divided by Tim Marshall. So a lot of the books I've been reading lately have been these non-fiction, geography based or just like humanities based books. I haven't really been switching it up a lot. So usually when I finish a book I do a book review on my website, which is also in the description. But because I've been reading a lot of the same books, there hasn't been a ton that I could pick out from this that has been extremely different, that I could talk about in tons and tons and write about in tons and tons of detail. So I thought it'd be interesting and different for me to come on here and do like a 5-minute overview of my thoughts on this book, and you can just watch the short video and kind of get like a general like of what am I feeling on this book and stuff like that. Literally all the planning that has gone into this video is on this one post-it note. So I think it was a few months ago, probably summertime, like the end of summer, I read another book by Tim Marshall called Prisoners of Geography, and I loved that book. Obviously I'm a geography student, this is what I do, so obviously I found it interesting. Not everybody would, but I still think like it was easy to understand, really easy to get into, everything was well explained, and so like anybody could read it. You didn't have to have any prior knowledge of things to be able to understand and enjoy it. And it's the same thing with this book, obviously same author, still as well written as the other one. There are some humorous parts, just like one-liners here or there, where the author will just be a bit sarcastic or a bit ironic. It's quite funny. I actually haven't explained what this book is about, which I should probably do that. As you can see, the title is Divided. It talks about borders and walls and barriers and stuff across the world, and it's split into 8 chapters, not including introduction, conclusion, bibliography, all that. And so it explores 8 different walls around the world. So when you think of what might be in this book, you probably think Trump's wall, Great Wall of China. So it explores all the obvious ones, but it also goes through ones that I probably wouldn't have thought of, like UK, which makes sense, and there was plenty to talk about, but I just wouldn't have thought of it to be like as significant as the Israel-Palestine wall, for example. And it spoke about India, and my mind immediately goes to India and Pakistan, but it also spoke about Bangladesh, and it might just be my own lack of knowledge, but I wouldn't have thought that wouldn't be where my mind goes to when I think about, okay, what walls are they going to talk about here, or where are they going to go in the world now, because I just wouldn't see them as relevant or as big as some of the other ones. But there are still tons and tons to learn about that stuff, which is really interesting. So you got the obvious ones that everyone wants to know about, and also ones that you wouldn't have thought of before, or wouldn't have thought to be in this book before. In Prisoners of Geography, each chapter had a map to show the area, and again this book has some maps here and there where it gets a bit complicated, but at the beginning of each chapter it has a picture of something. So this is the Great Wall of China. They've got ones of people. This is the Israel and Palestine one. Got people there. It's very nice. It's a very nice way to switch between the sections, because you can get caught up in thinking about one of them and then it changes and it's like, oh okay, we're doing something else now. But the picture just helps with that visual aspect of like, okay, we're moving from one place to another. It's, like I said, really simple to understand. You really don't need a lot of knowledge. Obviously the more knowledge you have, the easier it is, the more you'll probably get out of this book, but even if you don't, there's still tons to get out of this book, so literally anybody could read this. Again, with the idea of doing borders that you wouldn't have thought of, it also doesn't just talk about physical walls, like in the, I don't want to give too much away about the book, but in the Great Wall of China chapter, obviously you have the Great Wall of China, like that massive thing that you can see from space, but you also have this thing called the Great Firewall of China, which is about digital space and how it blocks things and lets certain things come through, which is a really interesting aspect to think about, because obviously we're in the digital age now. There are going to be digital barriers too, and they should be spoken about in books like this. By the way, this is written in 2018, so just for reference, when it talks about things, it's from 2018, so it's really not that old, it's quite new. And my final point to say about this is, if you're taking politics or geography or economics or any of those types of subjects, even I guess history to an extent, because it does go through the history of a lot of places, this is an amazing book. Like, I don't know if anybody watching this by chance does AQA Geography A-level, but the entire conclusion of this book is literally just the global systems and global governance topic. Like, that's what I'm just finishing now, and I was like, wow, like this is literally everything I've done for the past month. So it links up to so many different things, and it's a really good thing for, like, if you want to do wider reading for your subject. Okay, that was my brief overview of the things I liked about Divided by Tim Marshall. I currently don't have a book to read. I've ordered a couple. They should be coming like today or tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully I get those soon, because I've got into such a habit of reading before bed. I just hate it when I don't and I'm on my phone instead, because it just feel awful. Anyway, I'm getting off track. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have read this or read this, let me know what you think about it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Mwah.